call, Boo.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the WBC Talks. Stay home, stay safe. This is round number 20 rounds. And this time we're gonna talk about our gyms. This is the battle for our gyms. And first, I wanna introduce 𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗡𝗗. She's the director from the WBC University. Xochitl, how you doing?
Fine, thank you, Victor. Nice to talk to you and to see you again in this 20th round. Actually, we have had 40 rounds, 20 in Spanish and 20 in English. So it's been a fun days and weeks that we've been having here at the WBC Talks. Well, today I just want to share a reflection with you. And first, I will put a question on the panel. How can we improve our psychological skills to compete better in times of COVID-19? It's hard because we need to put our head together with our body. Well, today I will focus on 3 keywords that I will be reinforcing for a few minutes. The first word is learning. Learning is the key. Always we have to be in a continuous educational process. Since we must always learn, in the case of the athletes or boxers, you can learn from your own psychological experience, okay? When you are in a competition, you can bring that to your own experience and learn from that competition. Learning is linked to experience and is one that is an experience, it's never forgotten, okay? So you learn through the process of experience. Experience is the second word. Has a source of learning, and it's very important that we learn from our system, always acquire knowledge through our own experience. We learn, I repeat, through experience. And competing, it's another word to know, and it's necessary to be competitive either in the ring, during a fight, or in life, because you are always competing, okay? If you have a competitive mind, then you have the ability to make good decisions, okay? So the intention of this reflection is how we can generate learning from experience that we have had in the past, okay? For example, for the boxers, how was your last competition? Did you win in that competition? Okay, then you go through the process of your mental process that you have during that competition, and you learn what you did good, what you were thinking, what was your mood, did you take a rest, what did you do the night before? And another is, you lose or you lost a fight. Go through that experience. Why did you lose? Okay, go through your mental process. What were you thinking the night before? How was your training? What did you do that morning? Okay, and then have the ability to compare the 2 experiences and ask yourself again, what did you do before, during, and after? And that way you are going to learn a process that maybe you never were aware before. Okay, so if you process what you did well, then you acquire that knowledge and it's already yours. But you have to reflect on that. You have to think about it and make it your own experience, your knowledge. So we can try doing this at home. Right now, we have many time to do that at the gyms, where you guys are the leaders from the gym, and maybe this kind of I don't know, recommendation, you can try it with your fighters or with ourselves at home. Thank you, Victor, and have a very nice panel today.
Thank you, Xochitl. And this panel comes from all around the world. We have Vegas, California, New York, France, Germany, Canada. We are everywhere. So, Jill,
Before
Please.
you everyone, I'd like to give some news because I want to separate it from the show. But because we are talking about gyms and because of this difficulty of this time of saying goodbye to people, because they just slip away from us, 3 wonderful trainers, since we're doing gyms, have left us very recently. And I would ask that if you know their families, to reach out to them. One is 𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗡𝗗. One is, as we know, 𝗥𝗢𝗨𝗡𝗗, and today Francisco Mendez. So please, if you are familiar.
You serious, Jill?
I'm serious.
Did Francisco pass away?
Today. So please reach out to their families, send them your love in any manner that you can. Thank you. Victor.
Thank you, Jill. As we all know, this is hard times, and that's the reason the WBC talks are here, trying to make us forget a little what's happening outside so you can stay inside and have fun and learn, but also we have to share this kind of news. Thank you, Jill. And let's go to the main issues. I'm ready for Jalina if she wants to throw some punches. I'm here, ready.
I'm trying to stop sweating from the workout I just hosted.
Oh, sorry, I was working. I had the Spanish version.
Oh, okay.
But I did my workout in the morning.
Well, you know what? This one will stay on the live, on the WBC live, so you can jump on it later.
I will, I promise. It's going to be a serious workout. Jill, please introduce everybody.
All right. First, I want to say this is such an important subject. We don't think a lot about our gyms and the trickle-down effect because it's not the glamorous side of the business. But our gyms, our trainers, our coaches, if our athletes are our flesh and blood, the gym is the muscle and bone of everything that we do. And they're suffering in their seclusion. Some gyms won't be able to stay open after this. Rents don't stop. I mean, it's a very sad situation for them. These gyms, these trainers, these coaches, they're the heart of our industry. So if boxing is a sweet science, the gyms are where our fighters get schooled. And right now, school is closed. So this panel of wonderful people are here to share their experiences, and we're so thrilled to have them. First, Richard Steele. Richard, do I have to introduce you? Doesn't everybody know?
Well, anybody been in boxing for a day or two, they should know me.
So Richard, you're in Las Vegas, and what did you do before you got into being a trainer and opening?
I was a referee.
Okay, and some of the most amazing fights in history, correct?
Correct. I've been in boxing all my life, so I've been in boxing, 65 years. So always some parts of boxing, from an amateur fighter to a professional fighter to a referee to a gym owner.
Well, most people don't start their lives thinking, I'm going to open a boxing gym. There's something that draws you to that. So Bruce, yes. What were you before you were Mr. Gleason's? Please tell us about your gym, where you are, and what brought you to opening a boxing gym, and one of the most famous in the world.
Well, Gleason's Gym is started in 1937. It started in the Bronx, New York, and moved to Manhattan for 10 years. But for the past 35 years, we've been in Brooklyn, New York, in a section called Dumbo. I've been the owner for 38 years. Prior to this, I was working for Sears Roebuck and Company, which is a retailer. But I loved boxing. I grew up with it. My father was involved with boxing his whole life. And so I was around boxers. But after I went away to college, I graduated, and I figured I don't want to do what my dad does. I'm my own man. I'm going to do my own thing. So I went to work for Sears and became a manager of one of their departments in Long Island, New York. But I hated it. I hated wearing a suit and tie every day. I hated going in. Pay was good, salary was good. I had a lot of people working for me, but I just wasn't happy. So I contacted my dad, and he got me involved in the amateurs as a referee and a judge. And then I became the president of amateur boxing in New York, and I was getting around all the gyms. And one day I was in Gleason's having a coffee with the owner at the time, and he mentioned he was looking for a partner. So I said, don't go any further, I'm your partner. And the next day I went back to Sears and resigned, and I took my profit sharing and bought 50% of the gym. Then my partner, Ira Becker, passed away in 1991, and I bought the family out. So I've been the sole owner since 1991. And I love the gym business. I love all aspects of boxing. It's been in me for many years. But I think the gym aspect is the best. I've tried a little bit of everything. I was a promoter for a while. I was a matchmaker for a while. I was an agent for a while. They're all terrible aspects when you have to rely on other people. The gym, I don't rely on anybody except myself. Everybody is treated the same. Before this terrible turnaround, I had about 1,200 members. Many of them were professional and amateur fighters, but the majority have become businessmen and women and children, things that we never had when I first opened the gym. Or I actually first became a partner. We only had fighters, but today it's a different world, and it's great. We help so many people. I don't have to tell anybody here. You all know, but boxing is a terrific sport, and it helps so many more people than it ever hurts. And I just love it. I love all aspects of it.
But do you feel passionate about it, Bruce?
I think I do.
Blanca, what got you involved?
Your microphone is off.
Microphone.
Soft, Blanca. What was your trip to the gym? Your microphone.
Hi, do you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so my father was a boxer, and I grew up in that family my whole life. He was babyface Gutierrez. He started out in Mexico and ended up through Tijuana, and then came to the United States. And I was born and bred into this, and I respected and I loved my dad. He was my best friend, and I got into boxing. Out of the 5 kids, we have 2 boys and 3 girls. The girls, the ones that like boxing. So I opened my gym in 2007. I was a kickboxer. I had a few fights, and I just really love the sport. It's something I can't explain. It's in my blood, and it's everything just took me towards the sport. And during the early 1990s and 2000s, girls weren't really not so much allowed into the sport. People didn't want them in the sport. And even my dad thought girls shouldn't box, but when it's in your blood and that's what you want to do, and you like punching people and you like the whole feeling of working out, you just, you try to break barriers. And that's what we did. We started a program for females, and we have a platform that lifts females, and we have the show. And thanks to the WBC, we get a lot of support for that. And it's grown so much actually because of the WBC, and I really appreciate that. And the other thing we do is we work with autistic kids with learning disabilities, and kids that get bullied. So there's a lot more to the boxing program than just boxers coming in and girls fighting and guys fighting. We help a lot of kids, and sometimes we even feed those kids. So boxing has become a lifestyle. It's our life, and everything's changed so far. So I haven't seen a lot of those kids, and I'm worried about them. And I'm worried about what they're doing, and if they're eating right now, if they're eating right, and all the right things.
Where is your gym, and how is it holding on right now?
I have 2 gyms. I'm in Pacifica, California. I've decided to close one. I don't think I'll be able to last with 2 gyms, but with one, I think I'll be able to make that transition and keep the gym. Landlords out here aren't working with us in California, and gym owners, some gym owners like myself, before COVID-19 struck, before the mandates, we had actually closed before anybody else, because I was really worried about kids with immune deficiencies and whether we were gonna infect people, or boxing is so close contact that I didn't want to get anybody sick. So we closed the gym probably about 2 weeks ahead of everybody else. So like I said, my landlord's not working with us. That's okay. We'll find our ways, and we'll just do what we have to do.
People don't realize there's a tremendous overhead as gyms open. Even a month can absolutely destroy some small gyms. Angelina, how did our champ, how did you get in business?
Well, I trained at a gym here in Edmonton, kind of in the inner city, which I loved doing because I enjoyed helping the kids. And the owner of the gym and I had a little bit of a falling out, which has now been repaired. But he kind of, before we were heading for our fight in France, he told me that I had to wait and be the last one to finish my sparring. And I was like, are you kidding me? So I waited like 3 hours. But anyway, it was enough to set me off to want to open my own space in my own gym. And I wanted to give back. At this moment, I don't want to train actual boxers. I kind of want to focus on the fitness training and give back to, mostly because I don't have time to train an actual fighter that would be successful right now because I'm focusing on my own career. But I wanted to give back a little bit of boxing, a lot of my passion to the general public. Most boxing gyms, as we all know, are very intimidating to go to. And so I wanted to create a space that would be more inviting for the general public. So I created it kind of like a fitness boxing, but with more focus on the boxing technical side, incorporating it with a HIIT program. And so I opened Champs Boxing Studio. And we've created an amazing community in 2 years of being open. It is my home base for my training, so I do have a full facility able to box in. But obviously we've been shut down now for 6 weeks. This is going on 6 weeks now, and hopefully we'll have something to come back to.
It's great. Now, what I'm hearing also with everybody is that there's a huge community aspect within the gym, not just teaching boxing. Which brings me to Chris, actually, because
first, if you let me, I would like to show.
Please.
Of 𝗥𝗢𝗨𝗡𝗗. 𝗥𝗢𝗨𝗡 is the most beautiful and the sweetest fighter I know.
Sweetest until we get into the ring.
That's what I want to show exactly. Please show the two pictures that we have. This is 𝗥𝗢𝗨𝗡 too. I think this describes you inside the ring perfectly. I mean, you're fearless. I really love sharing time with you because you're really fit, but I love watching you fighting. I mean, you're the best on the ring.
Oh, well, thank you.
And she'll fight anyone.
I do enjoy it. Oh, there we go. Without the blood.
Yeah, I know. And it took a lot of time to fix that cut.
Yeah, well, the only reason is because I developed an autoimmune with that cut, so my body was fighting the healing process, and we actually didn't know what it was at first. So we kept kind of treating it as an infection because we weren't sure, obviously with boxing, there's a lot of outside factors that could potentially get involved with the healing, but it was just my body fighting itself. So once we figured it out, it healed quite quickly. And now you can barely see it.
Nope, can't see it. So as we were saying, there's a big community aspect to everything that you do. Richard has a huge charity aspect. Bruce has Give a Kid a Dream. Blanca has the Beautiful Brawlers. Jolene working with needy kids. Chris, you have a very special platform. Could you talk a little bit about your gym, where it is and what you're doing there?
We were right here in Plettenberg in Germany. And yeah, we have a gym. It's the First Punch boxing gym. We work with 4 schools. We bring the kids to our gym. They get lunch here. So they get here by bus. We get them picked up by a bus. They get at 1 o'clock straight after school. So they stay here till 5 o'clock. We work with them. We do boxing training. We have a social worker. We have a teacher, and it's me who's doing the boxing training. And it's not just boxing. It's also about values, teaching them kids values and everything. These kids are chosen by the teachers. Those are the kids where they really have trouble with, and it's always fantastic to see these kids here it's not that difficult to work with kids. All of you guys know it. You know, boxing is we all speak the same language. It's boxing. So same as me, when I was a kid, boxing helped me from a lot of trouble. When I wasn't listening to nobody when I was a kid, and besides my trainer, I went to boxing just for fighting, and I've done a lot of fights, and my trainer was the only one I was listening to, and it really changed my life. And for years, I'm in boxing for 24 years right now. So I started very early, and now it's just about giving back. You know, it's about giving back, because I see a lot of kids, teachers are telling me they are stupid or whatever, they can't do nothing, nothing will be out of them, you know, they have no future. But it's not about this. It's about, I think there is no bad kids by nature, you know, it's just misunderstood kids, or maybe kids who never got any opportunities. So especially I love to work. I like to work with these kids, with really the difficult kids. And you know, numbers don't lie. We have a lot of kids who was very, very bad at school. They had bad grades and everything. But right now, you know, they're passing all these classes and everything. So now here's now the sad part about it right now, because just as I heard a few minutes ago, we don't know where the kids are now, what they're doing now, you know, if they get something to eat. A lot of kids who come here, they are very happy about the lunch, you know, it's when they get something to eat. And we do it Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So we got 4 schools right now. And always we talk to them, what did you like most, you know, and they say, yeah, we love the boxing training, we love everything, but we love that food, because we know these kids don't get food every day, you know, so this is very important for us. And now we don't know. Now everybody's sitting, you know, watching. I'm looking at the empty gym, nothing going on here. And this is my main thing about the schools, you know.
That's one thing I want us to talk about in a minute after everybody's gone, is the boxing gym, how it's changed culturally in our society, what it really means to inner city kids, despite all the negative things that a lot of the establishments that put in the ring, the kid will become a bully, the kid will get more angry. We know this to be the opposite. But first, Sam, tell us about your gym in Marseille.
So Jill and I, we know from New York, because I lived in New York for over 20 years. I was boxing as an amateur there, and then Francisco Mendes gave me the opportunity to become a trainer, and so sorry, Jill.
I'm sorry, Sam.
Sorry, I can talk. Sorry.
All right. Lakeisha, tell us a little bit about the programs that you have in your gym, and we'll get back to Sam.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I am 𝗧𝗟𝗡𝗏 Steele-Jones. I'm related to somebody here on the panel. No, Richard Steele is my dad, and just listening to what you guys are talking about, my day job, I'm a public school teacher here in Las Vegas. So I teach 11th graders. I'm the English teacher, and I'm speaking about what Chris was talking about, is the food programs that are offered at the gyms, but also at the schools. A lot of the inner city kids are missing out. They're going hungry. And so I'm lucky enough to be able to try to connect with my kids via platforms like Zoom and Google Hangouts to try to make sure that they know where to go to get the food. But that is what the role is at the gym as well. So everything you all are saying about that community is so true. Boxing, I always call it the boxing family. And the kids at our gym really consider it that. We have a very open door policy when it comes to access to programs, to our boxing fitness programs. I also teach yoga at the gym. We have a lot of amateurs and then some professionals, of course, because you know that's how a boxing gym is. It's just a community of people who speak boxing, like you said. But my role is putting it out there, putting what we do out there to make sure people know what these programs are. Not only that, to know what our needs are. So like a platform like this is fantastic because like you said, month to month, gyms cannot survive without dues. Gyms cannot make the rent and the utilities. And we know, even though sometimes gyms in boxing gets a bad rap, we know it's where our kids go to feel safe. Like everybody's in there punching and throwing blows, but it's like the safest place that some of the kids can go in a day. And so without those gyms there, without those touchstones, without those familiar faces, without the strength that they feel on the inside and the outside after a boxing workout, or talking with their coach, or hanging out in the office with referee Steele, they just, some of them really feel lost. So we have our coaches out there on social media posting different workouts. We're also doing a fundraiser we call the Steele Standing fundraiser, to call on our donors to donate to us, so that in our GoFundMe fundraiser, so that we can be still standing when the COVID-19, in a post-COVID-19 world. So our programs really include our boxing fitness. We have a tremendous program called Rock Steady Boxing for our older community members who are suffering with the effects of Parkinson's disease. They're also missing out on these workouts. It's wonderful for them, but also their caretakers. It's an outlet for their caretakers as well. So we address those folks as well. We do community boot camps for those who are not necessarily into boxing, but just want that physical fitness, kind of like those HIIT workouts. Like you said, we do that as well. We are involved with the Police Athletic League PAL program offered at our gym. So there's just a lot of aspects that not only kids, but our boxing families just totally missing out on. And so kudos to everybody, because we do want to be still standing when all of this is over.
Yeah, I hope that happens. Sam, do you feel like speaking now?
Yeah, sorry guys. So it's a bit hard. I just find out about Francisco's death when you announce it, and the reason why I have a gym is because of him. I worked there for 18 years.
I know I met you there. Well, I know his family asked me if I would, because otherwise there's no way for people always to know and reach out, and this was his community. So it was important to them. And
of course. So I opened something similar to Mendes Boxing in the south of France, in Marseille. It didn't exist. We didn't have a gym with this kind of a system in France. And I did it with his blessing. I wanted to bring something new to French boxing that kind of died in a little bit. Like in France, it's very difficult to make a living as a pro fighter. Not to say impossible. People have to move overseas and fight somewhere. It's very difficult here. So opening the gym in my hometown in Marseille was very important to give the opportunity, the same opportunity you can have in England or America. And we are very happy. We opened 1.5 years ago, so it's very recent. We brought the spirit and the technicity that we learned in New York for all those years. I even trained you, Jill, for a little bit.
Yes.
People may not know that you can punch and knock out people if you want to, right?
I'm wearing my clothes right now.
I see that. And so we wanted to start to bring the old spirit back. My grandpa used to wake me up to watch Mike Tyson on TV, and France has lost that a little bit. And so we're fighting very hard through our community. Marseille is a poor city with a lot of ghetto areas that I travel, where I'm from originally, and so we wanted to give them the opportunity to express themselves through boxing, like I had when I went to New York. And right now we have to close the gym. It breaks my heart. We have no choice. We didn't want to depend on a landlord, and so we put our house in mortgage for this gym. So we have no choice but success. Otherwise, I lose my house.
And I just know that you will. I mean, you took such a brave leap moving back there and starting, and I've been to your gym. It's a beautiful gym, and there's so many beautiful little things about it. The organic food, the friendliness, the outdoors. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful gem of a gym and an area
Thank
that's
you.
at all. So we wish you success with that. We
Thank you,
really
Jill.
success. Yes. So, I mean, how are you all coping now? I mean, everyone's on the cusp, whether it's a boxing gym or any other, quote, small business. How do you stay in touch with your students? To some of your students, I'm not talking about the big stars that have come through your gyms, which we would love to speak about too, but these kids who see you as their home, their family, their coach, their mentor, their structure. Some of them have no structure. Most of you work and have amateur shows at your gyms. Bruce, you're involved so much with the Metro. Blanca, you're involved. Jalina, you're involved. Everyone is involved. Chris has shows there. I mean, what are you, it's heartbreaking. So what are you doing for yourselves just to get through this and for the people that depend on you?
Well, I can speak to this a little bit. And mine, you know, I don't have those kids relying on me day to day. I mean, I still go when I'm training and hang out with the kids and work out with them. However, for me, for my community, because what I've learned through this process in 2 years is that a lot of your clients and a lot of the people that attend your gym rely on you emotionally and for that emotional and mental support. So what I'm doing for my community is I've been hosting Instagram live workouts. Again, we're kind of a fitness-based workout, so we transfer from boxing to a hit and then back and forth. And I've been hosting these 3 days a week live on our Instagram page. And the feedback that I've gotten from the community is that they're very thankful that they're struggling, not only financially, but like emotionally and mentally. And so the feedback I've gotten from them is that that support has been amazing for them. I mean, it helps me, I think, with my charitable side, my philanthropy that I obviously enjoy doing. However, it is stressful because it isn't helping me financially, which is not what I'm looking for. But again, like Sam, like I remortgaged my house to invest in my business that is no longer producing money. So, you know, the stress is real. I totally understand because it is a make or break, or I'll be sleeping out in the bush. But the give back to the community for me, that's the way I've been supporting my clients. And then now I'm getting people around the world to come and do the workout and take their mind off of the stresses of the world right now. So,
Sue?
Bruce?
Well, yeah, I have 92 trainers, and I'm in communication with the trainers, and I'm making sure that the trainers each communicate with their clients. It's very important that we keep the communication open. You know, it's going to be difficult once we open the doors again to get the number of people back that we had prior to this. But you know, boxing people are unique. We're not just any kind of a gym. We're a niche. So the type of people that like boxing and come into a boxing gym, I think we'll get back to sooner than most people. But you have to keep the line of communication open. Let the people know that we care about them. We're trying to do things for them. The first week that we were closed, I renovated the gym. We painted it. We got new equipment in, so it looks real nice. I'm communicating with my membership through my email blasts and the social media. I think it's very important that you stay in touch as often as possible with your clients. Let them know that you're on their side. You need them as much as they need you, and have your trainers help. Have your trainers realize that their clients are our clients, or the gym's clients. And many of my trainers have been doing personal training like you over the internet. Prior to the ban of people going out in New York, we were sending a lot of our trainers to people's homes and apartments, and that kept some of their income coming in. But you just, communication is everything. Let the people know that we're there for them, and as soon as the doors are allowed to reopen, they can come in and fulfill their emotional and their physical needs.
Chris, you work a lot with the school systems. What is your biggest fear when we come out of this? Or are you just optimistic that it'll be a smooth transition back?
You know, right here, it's a mess because nobody really knows what will be tomorrow, next week, next month, or whatever, you know. So no matter what, we just waiting till we finally can get back to work with all these kids. But what I also do with to keep the communication with the kids and the other guys who just come for fitness boxing, I opened a WhatsApp group and started a challenge. It's about what are you doing today? What are you doing? So we train Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right? So I started with all those people who didn't train for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks of quarantine, I started, okay, we start today with 6 rounds. Everybody's doing 6 rounds. Who's joining in and doing it with us? You know, we can do like one round shadow boxing, 1 round. I don't know how it is, like you know, punching or whatever. You know, just do something what we always do. And do your 6 rounds. Next week we do 8 rounds, and we do 10 rounds, you know, and all these kids sending me all the videos and everything, you know, and they can train together with 2 people. So that's what they are doing, you know, and for me, just like Bruce said, it's very important to keep the contact with the people, you know, not just with the clients, but also with the kids and the fitness boxing people, but also professional fighters. So WhatsApp is a very good opportunity, or other you know, messengers where you just have all these big groups and you see what people are doing, you know, just to keep them motivated, so they don't get frustrated and don't lose you know, like the interest of sports or something, you know, just they don't come back in a few months and be like, wow, I didn't do nothing, you know. Just do something, move. If you don't want to do shadow boxing, go jogging or whatever, you know, ride a bicycle, whatever, do something, you know. That's why I opened that group. And I wasn't, at the beginning, I wasn't sure if that would work, but really it's working, you know, and people sending videos all the time. And it's pretty cool to see that people are still remember what you've been doing and teaching them, and they're showing to you, yeah, I'm here, you know. It's people working together, and you know, just everybody waiting till we, you know, can continue with our work.
Richard, what do you miss most being at the gym every day?
Well, what we are doing now, we're not at the gym, we're at the park. The park is about 2 blocks from the gym. So we have kids that comes to the gym 3 days a week, you know, come to the park 3 days a week. So we have instructors doing the basic shadow boxing, basic physical fitness. And we've been trying to keep in touch with the kids that way. And, you know, today, Lakeisha and Gladys, they're going to start sending out emails to all the kids just to keep in touch with them. You know, so we brought everybody's email to the house. So we're going to start sending emails to them, even though the 3 days that we do have workouts, we in touch with them that way, but we want to just let them know that we are thinking about them, because everybody doesn't have a computer, you know. So we just want to make sure that we send something out to the kids and let the kids know that we're thinking about them, and hopefully we'll be back in the gym shortly.
Blanca, what about all of these young girls that you're going? What's going to happen when this ends? Will you lose the momentum? I mean, there was some drop in women's boxing.
What we've been doing, Jill, can you hear me?
Yeah.
What we've been doing, Jill, is my sister Loopy and I, with Boxing Meets Beauty and Beautiful Brawlers, we're having all these contests on our IG of sending in pictures or sending in videos with your trainers and what are you doing during quarantine. We're sending them out some of our Beautiful Brawler swag to maybe it'll brighten them up, just to get something in the mail, just to get a new pair or a t-shirt. We're trying to keep them involved with us. We're going to come up with a new contest, probably an art contest. We're trying to keep the girls motivated. We're probably not going to have our show this year, which, you know, a lot of our sponsors give us money to throw these shows, and then we help girls and we give back when they're going to the nationals. So that's going to be pretty tough. So we're looking for all the bright spots, and we're looking to keep them motivated, involved, and we're actually doing pretty well with that. With the boy fighters that we have, that I miss so much. I mean, I miss them so much. We got personal DMs going with them. We've been posting people sparring on our IG just to try to keep the momentum going. And people like to see themselves on film. So we just try to keep those bright spots going. As far as workouts, now we're not doing that because when we got mandated to be home, my whole business had to be from home. So I'm working a lot harder at home, and I don't have a lot of time to do these workout videos. So my sister and I are just trying to keep in touch with all the girls. And I don't think we're going to lose the girls. I think they're hungrier than ever. And you know, the Olympics got postponed, so that's tough. You know, you have kids that have been training for that their whole life. So we're trying to just reach out to those. And on another level, there's a group of anonymous coaches that another coach got it together. I'm so glad he did it. And we have, hopefully every week we have these conversations where we're sharing ideas and lifting each other up, because we need to do that. Other gym owners have a very hard time right now. And we're just trying to think of solutions to some of the problems that we foresee.
So, first of all, mute your mic if you're not talking, because we're getting a lot of feedback from somebody. So if you can think of it, just mute the mic. So that's really great to hear. But here's my question. I mean, since this is state by state, country by country, are any of you getting information that you are going to be going soon and opening soon? Some states are. I may bring Marty Hill on here. He's in Georgia. Friday, his gym opened. Are there any other things like that happening on the near future for any of you? Have any of you been informed of this?
In France, the 11th of May, we're supposed to be able to start to open again. So right now, the president said 11th of May. We're waiting for official confirmation. It is not sure. It depends on how fast the disease will continue to spread. But we know that around the mid-May, we should be able to open again.
And what will you do to prepare for that, Sam?
We already did through social media. So we're lucky that a lot of our students are on Instagram, and so we create pages where they can actually exchange. We make tutorials. We make sure that they stay fit, and most of them are dying to be able to come back to the gym. They're really looking forward to it. We know that few of the students won't be able to go out because maybe they have a health issue that will put them at risk. But I would say 80% of our students will come back to class 11th of May, something like that.
What will you have to wear a mask? Will you have less people in the gym, or just?
Yeah, no. Our coach will have mask and a plastic protection in front of their face. They will have to have gloves. We won't let them do pad work because that will make them in a distance that may be not safe. So for now, we'll keep it as distant as possible. But at least they will have access to the gym and they'll be able to sweat it out, because a lot of our students are going through a rough time. We have a lot of death through their family and stuff. So I know they need it a lot. So the coaches will be protected and won't do pad work. That's what we're doing. We'll give them also products for their hands so they can wash their hands frequently. And but we need to reopen for them. That they need it and we need to.
Bruce, any word about New York?
No, I listen to Governor Cuomo every day. He has this closed till the 15th of May. But we're not doing real well in New York. There's still a lot of the disease around. So I'm hoping for the end of May 31st, but it's up in the air. It's every state, as you said, in the United States is a little different. Georgia's opening this week, and some of the others. What I am thrilled about is that gyms are in the first phase of reopening. That sort of surprised me very happily. But I'm ready. I'm as anxious as everyone else to get open.
Miss it, don't you?
Yes.
What time you're in your gym every morning, Bruce?
I open the door at 5 a.m. every day, seven days a week.
Absolutely.
The only place I want to be.
Blanca, any news about California?
There's no news. Governor Newsom here is very protective. I'm thinking maybe mid-May, but the issues we have, and I've been talking to some of the other coaches about it, is what's the protocol as far as keeping your gym clean? Do we have to wear masks out here? Where are we going to get all the cleaning products? They're all sold out. Those are some of the issues we have, and we don't want to come back too soon because a lot of the kids are living in extended families with grandmothers and other older family members. So we don't really know. We haven't gotten any word yet, but those are some of the issues that are important to us. Where are we going to get cleaning supplies?
In light of that, Marty Hill, are you here? Marty? Come on if you're on, Marty. Marty's gym is opening on Friday, and I'd be curious to know what precautions that they're going to tell him to use. So until Marty pops on, let's go forward.
What state is that? What state is Marty in?
Marty's in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
And their governor is governor to governor, country to country. So, Jelena, what about Canada or your area of Canada?
For us, we're still closed. Again, we don't have a lot of information as to when we're going to proceed, but I heard that there is some rumblings that we will open a little bit. I think obviously limited people, limited capacity in June, maybe.
In June.
Yeah, we're not as soon as you guys, which is crazy because I know in Alberta where I am, we have 40 deaths from COVID-19. In Edmonton specifically, I think we only have 2. So we're being very cautious up here in Canada and in Alberta as well. So what we say is that we will know if we overreact. We won't know if we overreact, but we definitely will find out if we underreact. So there is no we're maybe 4 to 6 weeks away.
So Marty, you said that Friday your governor says your gyms can open. What are the precautions? What are the procedures that you're going to be using to open that gym?
Yeah. Hey, Jill. Hey, everybody. Yeah, we were surprised yesterday at 4 o'clock by our governor here in Atlanta, Georgia, that he was opening back up most of the non-essential businesses, gyms, nail salons, beauty shops, barbershops, bowling alleys, places like that. Being a small business owner and a gym owner, like many of us, it was great to know the light at the end of the tunnel. But at the same time, we also still know there's a ways ahead. We're not opening up right away. We won't be opening up on Friday. We're going to still take 2 to 3 weeks. So we've got to put a plethora of precautions in place. As Blanca mentioned, there's no cleaning supplies. We hopped on Amazon right away just to kind of find out what resources would be there to help sanitize, and they're not there. I just left Target. They're not there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take baby steps. I've got a gym that does white collar and masters, Hey Bruce, and we do a lot of different things with kids and so on and so forth. So I think what we're going to do sometime starting in May is we're going to continue to do what we're doing. A lot of training will be outside, very similar to what Richard said. We'll do boot camp style training, only 4 to 5 people at a time, most likely. And we're going to call it drive-up boxing. You won't have access to the gym. We won't be doing anything with gloves and bags and mitts and sparring, probably for at least the first 30 days, because we want to make sure that everybody stays healthy, including myself and our staff. So it will be a lot of boot camp style training.
Did the government itself say this is what you must do to open, or they're just kind of leaving it to you? Because I know Bruce Gleason's was one of the last gyms in New York to close. And you walk in there, and I mean, it was like, instead of gloves, they were holding bottles of fantastic. I mean, it was clean. You could eat off the floor. That was Bruce's concept, and it lasted until finally they dropped the curtain on us. So are they dictating what you have to do, or are you just doing what you think you should do?
No, that's a great question. The stipulations that were already in place are going to be coming back with the social distancing. You can only have so many people in your business. I think we're going to probably get more of a lay of the land in the next couple of days, as now that the announcement was just made yesterday. So I think you're going to start hearing more about what you can and can't do, because we're a small business as a boxing club, so we don't have, you know, a lot of people coming in at one time. We do personal training and the group classes in the evenings. But that also does mean that the big box places can open back up as well, the LA Fitnesses and places like that. So I'm assuming in the next 24 to 48 hours, you will hear some clear stipulations about how many people can come in your business, what your business needs to look like, what are the protocols and things you have to put in place. You know, for me and us, for example, you know, I've got to take the next 2 weeks, you know, to create new waivers. You know, we've got to create a COVID waiver. You know, have you been tested? Have you been symptomatic? Have you been asymptomatic? You know, do we make sure everybody, you know, can you train in a mask? You know, how many people can train in masks? How many people can't? Do we make it where you have to wear gloves under your gloves when we do get back to gloves? So there's so many things that we're gonna have to put in place, because as we all know, boxing gyms and contact gyms are unique than a spin class or a LA Fitness. You know, we gotta do different things. And like Blanca mentioned, I think our biggest thing right now is, where are the supplies and the sanitary supplies and the disinfectants, and how do you keep yourself safe?
And even sparring with the mask, or it's going to be really hard.
And are they proposing this as a way to begin professional and amateur boxing again in Georgia?
Wow, that was that's a great question. We haven't even got to that point where that's even been proposed yet. And that relies over, you know, we're talking about boxing, but how's that going to play into the MMA culture and the MMA world as well, or even the jiu-jitsu or judo gyms, you know, which have a lot more direct contact, you know, than we have. So again, as those questions that you just mentioned become more the lay of the land, I can only imagine what the governor's desktop looks like this morning with those type of questions. You know, does that mean a promoter in Georgia or someone from somewhere else can come into Georgia and start promoting, you know, pro fights? That's a great question.
One thing I actually did hear up here is that they are planning to do shows, closed shows, so obviously just network shows, in Quebec. So out east here, they're planning on starting to do those in August. So I guess we're assuming that people can start training so they can get ready for fights. So that's kind of what I heard. I know Mel, my promoter, they had a call about putting two of the guys that are signed with my promotion on a show in Quebec. So like you said, it's kind of all over the map.
It's all over the map. So on a positive, Richard, tell us some of the wonderful people who've walked through your gym. Richard?
Oh, yes, okay. we have, you know, by me being in the business so long and knowing so many people, you know, I've always had great people, you know, to come to my gym. I mean, from Ali to 𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗡𝗗 to, I mean, everybody has always, you know, have came to Vegas, you know, they come to my gym, and my gym is a nice gym. We keep it nice, we keep it clean, and yeah. So, but you know, getting back to the sparring and getting back to the boxing, I'm not too anxious to get my kids or anybody else sparring until this thing is definitely over with.
So right now you primarily focus on the children, and I've seen those young men and women. Oh my God, they're amazing. You are a strict daddy, let me say that. Because if I go to Bruce's gym, I'll see a lot more professional boxers in addition to the children, and MMA and jiu-jitsu.
Right.
There's like 10 rings and people flying all over the ceiling.
Right. Well, you know, we have the power program, as everybody know, but we also have boot camp. You know, we have a gym where kids can really learn the art of boxing. Also, you know, learn to love themselves and love others and do good in school. We also have a classroom, you know, and we have tutoring program. We have teachers to teach the kids math, English, whatever they are in need of. And I think that's very important to give the kids what they really need, you know, what they really need and what really is going to help them throughout life, you know.
I think all of you are concerned about the children. I mean, we know the adults hopefully will have the money and the passion to go back to it, but the children are out there without their structure in the middle of a learning process that's very, very important to them in life. And a lot of them are children who don't have the ability to plug in somewhere else and maybe don't live in the best circumstances. So they really, really, really need those gyms, that encouragement and those mentors to help them. It's a terrible situation for the children.
You're right about that. You know, I mean, Kezia, she's on the internet teaching kids different classes, you know.
We even started teaching our yoga classes on the internet. The thing about the boxing gym that I can speak of, I'm not a boxer, but you know, I participate a little bit. I can throw a punch or two. The thing that I really miss about the gym, like I spoke about community, but I don't know about the rest of you guys, I miss the sound of a boxing gym. Like when you walk into that gym, when you walk into the doors, there's like a rhythm, a sound that just feels like home. And I think a lot of times we forget that boxing is multisensory, right? You can see it, you can feel it, you can hear it. Sweat flying, which is probably not good for COVID-19, but you know what I'm saying. Those are the things that I miss about the boxing gym. And I know those are the things that our kids miss about the boxing gym. It's just a certain rhythm and a certain spirit.
It's their safe arena.
Yeah.
Door and is, I'm home.
Yes.
So Victor, do you have any questions you want to ask before we wrap it up?
Yes, I would like to ask. Obviously, it's really bad time, but we're gonna survive this and we're gonna learn. Is there any change in the gyms? I'm not talking about logistic or rules or distance. I'm talking about the spirit. Is there something that you think is gonna change in the boxing world, in the boxing gyms?
I mean, things can change, but we fighters, right? Like if some of us have to show the example in the fitness or sports industry, that has to be us. We used to work hard when things are difficult, and I guess the boxing community will rise up from that. I have no doubt that all of those gym owners I see now and all the fighters we have will rise up. You know, I think they have a strong spirit, and even if we get hit, we'll come back up. That's how you see who is the champ, right?
We are stubborn by nature. This is for sure.
Hey, listen, we have a unique group of people. We're a niche. When you talk about how many boxers there are worldwide, it's minuscule compared to the number of people in this world. So we're a small niche. We're also fighters. Fighters know fear. Fighters know how to conquer fear and use fear to make their contests better for them and safer for them. So I think our people will come back in droves. They're going to miss the camaraderie of the gym, the community service in the gym. They're anxious, and I think our people, our boxers, will come back before most people.
What I see, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Chris?
What I see in our group, and people are talking all the time, is they appreciate our trainers much more, because when it's everything is normal and everything is just running, everybody is very busy, everybody has his own problems, and sometimes they forget about maybe saying thank you, or maybe saying you guys doing a great job or something. And now I see all the trainers, they get a lot of appreciation. They people they sit at home now, they think about it, and they tell our people, our trainers, we have older trainers, younger trainers, they tell them, wow, thank you for everything. It's a great job what you guys doing, actually.
It's lovely. Blanca, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I think I think a lot of the kids think of us as family, and family always pulls through, and family will be for you. So I'm really banking on that as a family, we'll all pull through it. But most of all, I know a lot of girls and a lot of guys that are hungry to get back in there, and I know that they're ready for competition, and I know that they can't wait to fight again. So I think they're come back hungrier, and I'll tell you this, I sure appreciate trainers a lot more. When I see a couple of the kids in the gym, I'm going to be crying when I see them.
Anyone else?
One thing that I would like to say, I think that we as gym owners and, people that is in boxing, if you really look around, we are really getting short on trainers. So if there's anybody that's hanging around, I think you should try to get them involved in training kids or adults or whatever. They're hanging around because they're looking for something to do. So we need trainers. And, just recently we had over 3 trainers away. A lot of the great trainers are gone. They've been gone. We need trainers. So anyone that you see that have the love for boxing, anyone that you see have the knowledge of boxing, invite them into your gym and invite them to, train some of your people, some of the kids especially, as long as they know boxing and willing to learn boxing, we can make good training. We need this in all of these gyms.
Thank you, Richard. Bruce?
Well, it's great talking to everybody and seeing that we're all in the same boat, and I think we're all going to recover. There's a financial strain for every one of us, but fight through it. We can beat this, and talk with your landlords, even if they're not cooperating with you right now. They have nobody moving into your space, so work with them and let them work with you. But just stick in there. I think this is going to be over, at some point, hopefully sooner than later, and we're all going to get back in the gym and do what we did before.
Yes, absolutely. Lakeisha?
Sorry, I was muted. Like I said before, I'm just looking forward to the kids getting back to their safe haven. That's where they want to be. And we want to make sure we do it, but we do it intelligently. So for us, I know that it's going to be about getting those supplies that you all spoke about, having more antibacterial stations. It really is a changing of the philosophy of how we interact as boxers, right? Because we're used to sweaty hugs. We're used to, working out and getting in each other's faces. It's just a contact place. So for us, it's going to be about unlearning a lot of things and putting into place new ideas and new processes. So making sure we get back together so that we can love on each other, but also do it in a way that we're not going to end up back in this situation again, because that's what I fear the most is we get in, we start our training again, we get our kids reacclimated, and then something happens and this thing blows up again.
What about masks? Does anyone have a good company to buy masks from at a cheap price?
There are some groups like Boxing Wags and Claudia Olis who are selling masks and partly giving them away too. So why don't we ask that to the audience out there? Because I know in New York, I had to send away for masks because I couldn't get a good mask in New York anymore. And 3 friends have sent me a cloth mask that I could use. So if anybody knows a good place to get masks donated, that would be wonderful to know. And you can call us, Victor, could you put the WBC or the Steel Gym
Of course.
so we can find it? Are these masks for your students, Richard? Yes.
Yeah. We need the small, medium, and large masks, whatever size they come in, because we're not going to be able to open that gym without a mask. We know that everybody got to wear a mask.
I'll tell you, the look at the gym outfit, the look at the fashion in general is now changed forever. It's incredible. It's really incredible. And how fast things change. You go out in the streets of New York, the fashion capital of the world, and you see very, very homemade, very chic masks that people are coming up with now.
Right.
See how in this country we create industry even after disaster, we create industry and fashion.
See, but we also, you got to think of, we need a mask that has a filter or has something that we can wash, the kids can wash, every other day or whatever, but we got to have a mask that, that can be sanitized.
I know Claudia Olis is making some of these masks out of California, which have the filter inside. So let's get the information out there and maybe that will help.
Yes, please do.
Marty, did you have anything you need to say?
Well, like I said, what I'll do is I'll definitely keep you informed, Jill, to transpose the information of what's going to transpire here in Atlanta over the next couple of weeks. It's been a very interesting 24 hours to say the least. I mean, you have opponents on this side and you have people on the other side that are saying that we're doing this too soon. So when we sit smack dab in the middle of it, so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Do I think the general public's going to rush back in? No. Do we need to also bottleneck on how we go about things? Yes. But I think the one positive thing is that I don't know how this is going to impact summer camps. I don't see a lot of kids having the opportunity to go spend time with the grandmas and the grandpas this summer. So those parents are going to be looking for outlets, and guess where places they're going to be looking towards are going to be boxing gyms, and that's something else we need to start thinking of, whether it be some type of camp environments, or if you want to get back up and running fast when this does get behind us, kids are going to be the way through this. And I think we're going to be reached out to be leaders when that does happen. And I think we all should be preparing for that because you're going to have a lot of kids who won't be going to camps, won't be doing sleepover camps, won't be going to grandma and grandpa's houses these summers. And those parents are going to look for outlets, and they'll be turning to boxing gyms for
I'll watch Jalina online because she's promised. Right, Jalina?
You were kind of cutting out, but yes, I agree with you all the time, Jill. Anything you need.
What I need is for this to go away forever and progress with our life to end and for real to start again. But we're going to take away from this the quiet time we've had, which has been very painful for a lot of people, has also been very peaceful at times too, with a relearning process that we're all going through when you drop all the anxiety and all the have-to-dos. So let's take advantage of that and recharge and replenish our lives. And then let's go hit some bags really, really quickly. So anyway, Victor, do you have anything else?
Yes, Jill. The mission of the WBC Talks is to bring joy and distraction from this, as I told you at the beginning. But we are the boxing family. For this reason, we create this not to make you sad, but to pay respect, because they are part of the boxing family. We love them, we respect them. I just want to call you and ask you to tell everybody that you tell them that you love them every day.
Every day.
And we have to pay respect to all the people that is passing away, all the people that is suffering. And we are the boxing family. We suffer together. We are happy together. So I just want to thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Victor.
Thanks for having us on, Marty.
Thank
Stay
you.
safe now that you guys are opening. So definitely, you know, we wish you luck, but stay safe.
Yeah, no, thank you guys. Thank you for that as well.
Thank you for having us.
Talk to you soon.
Thank you very much.
Why don't we do
Everybody
this
stay safe.
more often? Victor and Jill, why don't you arrange for a meeting like this more often, even in better times?
We will. This was
Now that we
Mauricio's idea and the WBC University proposal, and it's amazing how it's been working and how easy, how everybody. One of the situations is that usually everybody is too busy.
Yeah.
Too busy to answer. Now that everybody's at home, everybody says yes, and everybody wants to watch. Everybody wants to participate.
everyone in the world, and this way,
Yeah,
everyone in the same world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but I think
taught us something the other day, that you can give a virtual hug.
yes,
Yes, come on, Bruce, don't get shy.
get close to the camera and give us a hug from Germany, from everywhere you are. And
You get it. You get it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
my friend, it's amazing talk, and we have hope, and we have boxing, and we have kids that we have to work with them to make a better world, as all of you do every time. Thanks for helping us.
Yes, so
Thank you.
stay home,
All right.
Stay in touch.
stay cool.
Love you guys.
Bye-bye. Take care, everybody.
WBC
Bye.
Talk. Stay home, stay safe. This is WBC. Thank you.
Okay.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye bye.